Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome back to Shine From Within Astrology channel. Let's talk about planetary transits in May and how they're going to influence our lives. So, some of you have been asking when the life is going to get easier. Is there some light at the end of the tunnel? And yes, May is going to be a little bit nicer, but well, not from the beginning, right? Let's start from Mars. So Mars is still in Pisces, and the worst part that it's together with Saturn. Mars with Saturn, this combination, it's always unfavorable, yeah, and it could bring some unpleasant results, especially if your personal planetary period also suggests some challenges, let's say so, right? So Mars is going to be in Pisces until the 12th of May. Yes, so 2 weeks. Hold tight and then things will shift. But until then, yes, so what's wrong with this Mars in Pisces? Yeah, first of all, Mars, this is the synonym to the word energy. Yeah, so Mars, this is our inner drive. That what gives us ability to move forward, to do things, to achieve our goals, to get up from bed every morning. Yeah, so that's Mars. And Pisces, it has nothing to do with achievement or with activity or with goals. Yeah, it's absolutely different energy. It's about feeling, it's about sensing, yeah, it's about intuition, it's about, loving the whole world. So, very obviously Mars doesn't feel well in Pisces, yeah? So there is this inner desire to move somewhere, but there is no clarity where to move, how to move. There is this feeling that you lost the sense of direction, or you don't know how to start, like where. So, this energy, it is within, but it is stuck. And without action, this stuck energy of Mars, it starts creating this inner irritation. Yeah, so when there is no action, there is always irritation within. And different people experience it differently. Some people literally get angry, some people get emotional, some people feel offended by, I don't know, like very small things, like too touchy and stuff. Some people are just driving themselves crazy with lots of thoughts. Yeah, we all are different. So the way how it manifests in our lives, it's different, but when you know the root and when you see how it works for you, then you can make a change. And I would say the general advice here is to start moving. Mars energy needs movement. And while you are stuck in these destructive patterns because the energy of Mars doesn't match the energy of Pisces, yeah? So to make it work, you need to start moving. Yeah, a little bit of movement, a tiny action. Do at least something. Yeah, some physical activity, a little warm up in the morning, a nice walk somewhere outside. Doesn't even have to be long. Yeah, like half an hour, you can definitely afford that. Yeah, small actions toward your goals, because Mars, this is the energy which wants results. Yeah, here and now. It wants something to be fast. And Pisces is not fast energy and Saturn there. Yeah, so it's very frustrating for Mars. Like I want to do things, but like I cannot focus and like I don't see the results, and this frustration keeps building inside. I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm talking about. So Mars together with Saturn, it slows down all the processes, and it says like, okay, we just need to move forward slowly, look at our karmic patterns, look at our lessons that we need to learn, like slow down to observe what we are doing wrong, what causes us struggle, and yeah, based on that observation, we need to change something. Change what? Always mentality. Yeah, whenever we need to change something, people say, like, you need to change a habit. Well, how to change a habit? Well, you can try to force yourself, but it doesn't work in a long perspective. Because like forcing yourself requires some motivation and self-discipline and stuff. So it's hard. It's hard. That's why so many people fail. But what helps is that helps when you change your mentality, because that's how the whole thing works. Yeah, that's kind of universal law. When you change your mentality, you change your reactions. Yeah, when you think differently, you react differently. When you react differently, you act differently. When you act differently, it forms a different habit naturally. Yeah, you don't have to force yourself. And when you change your habit, you change your life. Yeah, we can say that you even change your destiny. So yeah, if you want to changes in your life, you need to start from mentality. And Saturn, being Pisces, teaches you that, like, okay, you need to look deeper, you need to slow down and look deeper. So yeah, Mars and Saturn, they could work really well if you understand how to put them together. As I said, like, yeah, with some deep analysis plus small actions, yeah, small steps, but consistent steps. Yeah, like you move forward, but like a little bit, step by step, and it works. And at the same time, you're not expecting results, because Saturn always delays the results and Mars gets frustrated about that. So leave the expectations. Yeah, don't think about the results like at all. Yeah, just focus on what's important and just make your steps. Focus on the process. That will be very, very helpful. Yeah, at the same time, this energy is not very favorable for health things, and especially if you have some karma and planetary periods that could reveal some issues. Again, it's nothing to be afraid of, but it's something to look at. Yeah, if some health issues arise, then, well, you need to deal with it. And the best time is going to be when Mars will move to Aries. I mean, like, speaking about like some surgeries or these kind of things. So Mars is going to move to Aries on the 12th of May, and it's going to stay there until the 21st of June. And Mars feels very well in Aries because it's going to be in its own sign. Yeah. And whenever planet is in its own sign, it feels strong and it gives some good qualities that, because like even malefic planets, they can give positive results when you know how to use them. So we were talking that for now there is this sense of stagnation and irritation, but Mars in Aries, it's pure action. That's a lot of energy, that's an ability to move forward, that's a lot of inner drive and, like motivation that comes out of blue. Yeah, you don't need to look for it, it just happens. You just feel like, yeah, I can do that. I finally feel resourceful. So let's rock it. Yeah, let's rock this life. And that's amazing. That's a great moment. And I would like to mention that it would be great that by the time Mars moves, you have some clarity about where you are running, because pure energy, when it's super active, like Mars and Aries, yeah, it gives this idea of like, let's run, without actually thinking like where we are running. Yeah, so like the focus again on the process, like it's cool, I'm finally running, I finally have this energy, but where you're running. It could happen that with all this excitement, uh, you can start running and after a while realize that you've done a lot of things, but they have nothing to do with your goals. Like, yeah, maybe you got some experience, but well, it doesn't help you anyhow in life. So you could waste your time and precious energy as well. So before running, you need to focus like where exactly you are running so that you will use this time and this transit for good. Yeah. As I said, Mars in general is the significator of surgeries, and that's a great time to do surgery if it's needed, if it's necessary. Yeah, like don't do unnecessary surgeries. I'm not talking about cosmetology thing here, but yeah, if there are some health issues, and I'd like to share some personal story here. I don't know. That's a very beautiful thing, and maybe I don't know. You'd like to know a little bit more about who is talking to you. So my father had a scheduled surgery. It was supposed to be at the end of April. And as I mentioned, it's not the best time, but I was like, okay, well, life is life, karma is karma. So I was praying that everything goes well. And guess what? After the final examination, yeah, they did all the tests and then they were supposed to schedule the date, and they scheduled the date in the mid of June. The very moment I've heard that news, I was like, okay, the God definitely has a plan, because not only the transit is quite favorable, yeah. So the Mars is going to be in a good placement. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that in June, Jupiter will be in the great position at its strongest, and Jupiter is a very powerful benefic planet. And also I will be there. And I will arrive before the surgery, so I will see my father before that, which is, I would say, very valuable, because I mean, like, all the transits and so on, but anyway, it's surgery, so I'd love to see him before. you know that you never know. Yeah, and honestly, I don't want to check his chart for that. I prefer to pray. Yeah, that works. Yeah, and then I will be there to help him while he's recovering. So I definitely see some God's influence, divine influence. I don't know if you don't feel comfortable with the word God. Yes, some divine influence for this situation. So I would like to remind you, whenever you feel lost, scared, worried, or whatever bothers you, praying is a great thing. I'm not telling you what God to pray to, what philosophy rely on, or like what is going to be for you, but I would say that it's quite important to find divine forces, some philosophy, some maybe religion, whatever speaks to you, whatever you feel connected to, yeah, whatever shape of divine forces, the shape of God you feel connected to, because in tough moments, that's pretty much the only thing you can rely on. Yeah. Anywho, getting back to our transits. Yeah, let's talk about Mercury. Yesterday on the 30th of April, Mercury moved to Aries. Yeah, before that it was in Pisces as well, and Mercury falls in Pisces, and Mercury is responsible for our thinking process, yeah, for our mind and intellect, for our communication, for our business ventures, and so on. So, while Mercury was in debilitation in its fall, so it was weak, which was adding this fogginess to our thinking process. Yeah, so together with Mars with no direction, Mercury with no power of actually getting some clarity. But finally, Mercury in Aries, it feels well there. So the thinking process becomes sharp. And this is the great moment to actually focus on what you want, how you want. So Mercury here works really, really well. Yeah, so you can finally map out all the things that were on your mind, but you couldn't get this structure. This is the great moment to speak clearly about what you want, how you want, what bothers you, what, well, make sure that you're not speaking harshly, but the fact that you can deliver your thoughts and ideas clearly, that's a great thing. Yeah, this is also a great moment to revisit your business activities if you are running any kind of business entrepreneurships and stuff, so that you could see some issues which needs to be fixed, like everything becomes very clear. You're like getting your aha moments. Yeah, so use this time, because Mercury gonna stay in Aries only until the 15th of May. Then it will move to Taurus. This is the moment when all the ideas, they need to get into practical scale. Yeah, into practical space. How do I say it? Into practical plane? Okay, you got me. I hope you got me. Yeah. So Mercury in Taurus is about being practical. So if now it's about, like visionary style of thinking, yeah, when you are mapping out things, yeah, building structure, then Mercury in Taurus, that's execution. Yeah, so Mercury going to be in Taurus until the 29th of May, and see how things are working well together. Yeah, so first you're mapping things, then you're executing, bringing your ideas into matter, and at the same time, Mars is going to be active already, so you will have all the energy to do that. So from the 29th of May, Mercury will move to Gemini, to its own sign, where it's going to be strong, which is great, but I would say we will discuss it in June. Yeah, well, why now? So let's talk about the Sun now. Sun now is an exaltation in Aries, and it's going to be like that until the 15th of May. I would like to talk a little bit deeper about the Sun, or let's say I'm going to bring a fun fact. Because a good astrologer is a researcher, the person who always notices things, who studies details, looking for patterns, making this like statistics and analytics, and it happens all the time. You have to have this kind of nature that like whatever you look at, it sparks the curiosity in your mind, so you study, and then you see all these patterns, how it all works. So I actually wrote a post. I made a reel. Was it a reel? Yeah, in Instagram. So if you guys are not following me there, you might be missing a lot of fun and interesting content. So it starts as what Queen Elizabeth, Hitler, Lenin, Saddam Hussein, and Ali Khamenei have in common. And yes, they all are powerful leaders, but astrologically, they have the exact same placement, all of them. They do have Sun in exaltation, means they have a very strong Sun. And Sun gives a natural gift for leadership. Strong Sun gives this ability to shine. But if we even think about the Sun, then Sun can bring us light and warmth, but Sun can also burn. So that what happens, when the strong Sun is afflicted at the same time, then person could turn into a tyrant. And all those guys, they were born at the end of April, and at the end of April, the Sun is at the highest point of exaltation. Yeah, for different planets there are different degrees of exaltation. So for the sun it's 10 degrees, and by the end of April it reaches this 10 degrees. So all those guys, they have not just strong sun, they have like the strongest sun possible. But as you know from the history, unfortunately not all of them show this beautiful side of the strong sun. So while sun in exaltation as transit, this is a reminder for us that we are here to shine as well. Yeah, maybe not on such a huge scale, yeah, but in everyday life as well. And it matters. Yeah, because sometimes people feel like, oh my God, like, yeah, I don't have a huge influence, but it doesn't matter. You influence a lot of people on a daily basis. You influence your family, you influence your friends, you influence your neighbors, you influence your colleagues. I mean, like by your presence. And that's important. And yeah, we need to think about like how we do that. Do we shine? Do we shine enough? Do we bring light and warmth? Or do we burn people? Yeah, that's what this transit about. And definitely we need to shine. Yeah, we need to find this beautiful light within and start sharing it. And this sun transit, it gives this idea, this sensation that like, okay, right, I can do more. I do have potential. I am here for a reason, like, yeah, not just to exchange my time for money and I don't know, like eat, sleep, and spend like this the next 50 years of my life. No, like there is something else. Yeah, I'm here for a reason. Yeah, like looking for this deeper purpose than just earning and spending money. So this is a great moment again, and together with Mercury, this ability to think. And here I would like to say that it's also important to sense, to look a little bit deeper within. And sometimes it's also very valuable to get some hints, some tips from astrology, because some things we cannot acknowledge by ourselves. Yeah, sometimes, well, actually, I would say it happens very often, more often than I thought in the beginning, that people are looking at others and they think like, oh my God, I would like to be like that. And they're trying to develop some qualities. And it seems like a right thing to do, but it doesn't happen easily, and people struggle and suffer, and they're trying and doing, and they don't understand why it's not working, while at the same time they actually have their natural gifts and they don't see them valuable, and they waste a lot of time on developing things that are not theirs, while they could have spent time on developing what's easy for them and at the same time what's valuable for the world. So very simple mismatch, but so much struggle and so much of wasted time. And yes, nowadays in our world, it's cool to be a leader. Yeah, you need to be a boss, you need to have your own business, and that's promoted as something cool. But it's not for everyone, and not everyone has this strong sun, for example, naturally, right? Not everyone is good as entrepreneur, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine because we all are different, but it doesn't mean that if you are not like that, that you are not valuable. Everyone is valuable. Every talent is valuable. And as I said, like very often people, they don't see the talent in them, or they don't see the value in the talent, and they are trying and pushing and they suffer just because of this simple mislead, which is so strongly pushed to us through social media. So getting back to our sun in Aries, this is the moment for you to look a little bit deeper, to actually see your uniqueness, to see that you are valuable, that you have something for this world and you need to find it. If you found it, amazing, then like think how you could get better at it. But if not, then yeah, this is a powerful moment for you to make this discovery. And from the 15th of May, Sun's gonna move to Taurus, and there, Taurus, we just talked, this is material zodiac sign, so it's about putting things into matter. Yeah, so whatever you discovered, you need to bring into something stable. You need to fix the result. Yeah, you need to take some actions step by step where you actually start moving forward and start building this foundation. Yeah, if you already have things running and stuff, so this is the moment when you, I would say, strengthen the foundation so that you are more clear and more certain about who you are, what you are doing, where you are going, and you kind of like add more bricks to your foundation, to your basement, that the whole structure stays strong. Or maybe even, like expands a little bit and gets stronger. Yeah, these kind of things. Like you strengthen your positions or you building your foundation, depends on where you're at the moment. So let's move forward. And Venus is already in Taurus for a while, from, let's say, the third part of April. Yeah, so Venus in Taurus is in its own sign, which is great. And Venus, it's about beauty, pleasure, and it's about seeking comfort and enjoyment. So probably you've noticed this desire of like creating something beautiful and comfortable, some atmosphere, or like, I don't know, even like going out and like having this nice matcha, or I don't know, just like trying a new dress and like maybe refreshing your wardrobe for the summer, or like trying to bring some beauty. And yes, it's also very matchy with the nature, because in many places in the world, this is the moment when the trees start blooming. Yeah, this is like full sensation of the spring, and that's how we feel. Yeah, we wanted this beauty in our life. We wanna like feel this world, feel this life. Yeah, we want to feel alive. Yeah, that's as well. So we want to enjoy. Venus in Taurus, it's some hedonistic vibe. So I'm pretty sure that you sense it, that like, okay, like I need this beauty, I need this thing. Yeah, I just want to enjoy at least a little bit. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So do that, because you need to recharge your batteries, as we just discussed. Yeah, from mid-May, that's gonna be some energy rush when you will feel that you need to run, you have to run, you can't avoid this run. Yeah, so you need some energy and like some slow time, some like wellness routine time, let's call it. So do that, recharge your batteries, feel woman. Feel that you are a woman, because I'm pretty sure that most of people who are listening to me are women. So yeah, allow yourself to be a girly girl, enjoy it as much as possible. And then on the 14th of May, Venus is going to move to Gemini. Venus, it feels well. It's a friendly sign for Venus. So all this beauty will go into creation. Yeah, into Gemini is a creative energy. It's very easy, light, fresh energy. So Venus will bring you these ideas and abilities to create something. Yeah, so if you are already in some artistic field, in some creative profession, then that's going to be a great moment. A lot of ideas, a lot of energy to execute things, right? If you have nothing to do with creativity, but you still have a lot of things to be done, then Venus here will just add you some I don't know, like, let's say, nice touches, yeah, that the process can still be enjoyable and pleasant. Yeah, maybe they could be executed beautifully. So nice vibes, yeah. You sense it that from the mid-May, Things are getting better. What about the full moon and new moon? So on the 1st of May, today is full moon, right? On the 16th of May, it's going to be new moon. On the, 30th of May, it's going to be full moon again. Yeah, so these days are, in general, considered unfavorable. So during these days, we don't do anything important. Yeah, instead of that, we spend time with some calmness. Yeah, moon energy, like full moon, new moon, is quite well balanced by water. So if you feel overwhelmed or under weather, whatever it is during these days, the best recommendation is to get in touch with water. If you have any water body around your place, then just go have a walk somewhere there, sit next to the pond or next to the river. If you have such access, that would be the great decision. If not, then take a bath at home. If you don't have bath, take a shower. At least, I don't know, like splash your face with water. Something, yeah. Water actually helps during these days. And also connecting with moon energy. That's a great idea. Every time I remind you. And one of the best ways is through chanting mantra. And sometimes people are afraid, like, oh, what is mantra? You know, like I've heard it, but I'm not sure. What's like, are you converting me to another religion or something? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Chanting mantra doesn't mean that you are converted to any religion. What is mantra? If we translate it, that man, it comes from manas, which means mind, and tra, it comes from traya, which means calming. So mantra, it's the tool which calms your mind. And your mind is the source of your suffering because most of your problems, they exist only in your mind. So how to calm your mind? You chant mantra, and during new moon and full moon, obviously, one of the best mantras is going to be the one which is about greeting the moon. The moon in Sanskrit is called Chandra, and the mantra is going to be Om Chandraya Namaha. Om, everyone knows, it's like the opening, then Chandraya, yeah, it's the name of the moon, and Namaha, that we are greeting, that we are, well, we can also say that we are bowing to the moon, but like bowing, it means that we show our reverence. Yeah, so Om Chandraya Namaha, and you can sing it, recite it out loud or in your mind, doesn't matter. You can do it as long as you feel. Just allow yourself fall for this sound, and that will calm your mind. I hope you give it a try because it's actually a very helpful tool. So yeah, that's gonna be our May. And I would like to remind you that transits, they bring, let's say 20% of influence on our lives, while 80%, it still depends on our personal planetary periods. So if you feel that the life is heavy right now, or you are confused, or you are lost, or you don't understand like where to start, then astrology consultation is a great tool for you. Yeah, don't waste your precious time, your precious energy because it is exhausting. Instead of that, you could come, get your clarity, and get your structured step-by-step plan, like what to do right now, where to focus your energy, and how to deal with your life so that it wouldn't be a struggling thing, right? So why struggle if you can not struggle? Yeah, that's my main philosophy. We don't need to struggle, it's not necessary. So I hope you're gonna have a great month, and talk to you soon.